Well, it's 6:11 in the morning. I got up about 5:45 today, right? And I'm going to do something. Ace is over there getting in his bed. I'm going to do something today that I haven't done before. And here's the deal. Going to demo guitars for somebody. I've been watching guitar demos on YouTube for the last probably 15 years, right? 13 years, 10 years, whatever. Greg Koch is one of the guys that I used to watch all the time, Wildwood Guitars, right? And I've actually bought guitars from Wildwood Guitars from watching those demos, right? Ace loves to walk on the camera stand and make it wobble. So if you ever see the camera stand go like that, it's because Ace got to it, right? Look at that little face. But here's the deal. I'll let him chill out, right? So watching all of these YouTube guitar demos, right? And knowing that, everybody plays different. I have my own playing style. I have my strengths, I have my weaknesses, right? But seeing these demos and going, I could do that. And this talks about a certain type of musicianship, right? I've had, here's the thing, man. If you're going to do demos of guitars, first of all, let's talk about what you're doing. And I've done a video about this and I'm in the process of editing it. But the idea is that we're not selling guitars. We're not selling pedals. We're not selling amps. The music business, as far as retail goes, is selling a dream, right? You're selling a dream that this new guitar is going to take you to the next level, or this piece of gear is going to sound awesome. And what is that dream? It's the rock and roll dream, right? Being the local star of your local bar, or going on to be, Johnny Be Good with your name in lights. Someday your name will be in lights saying Johnny Be Good tonight. These are the dreams that we all had as kids. And as we get older, we start to realize, these dreams, it's like my daughter, we were walking the other day and she was saying, we were listening to Johnny Be Good and Elvis doing Johnny Be Good. And we're walking and she says, well, you got to do that, right? You were a little kid and you dreamed of that and you got, I said, yeah. I said, kind of. I said, but it wasn't my name in lights, right? Trying to get your name up in lights on the bill. That's a hard goal, right? Getting to play with other artists, their name or their band name in lights, and you being a part of the piece of the puzzle that night, that's a little bit easier goal to attain. But it's all in the dream, right? The dream of making it, the dream of writing the perfect song, or the dream of becoming the star, or the dream of playing the perfect note even. Something simple like that. Thinking that this magic guitar is going to, make you sound better, when ultimately the only person that can make you sound better is the person that stares back at you in the mirror, right? But here it is early in the morning, right? And I'm set up to go do these demos today at a local music shop. Here's the deal. I'm going in. I don't have any predetermined things that I'm going to play, right? I know I'm not going to play songs, right? Because one, if you play songs on YouTube, sometimes the video gets demonetized, meaning they make it so the person that puts the video out can't generate any income or ad revenue from it. So playing covers, I don't feel, is an option. It's something people will say all the time, oh, play this riff or play that riff. And here's the thing. I don't know a ton of other people's stuff, right? Now, just recently, I started working on the song Light Up the Sky by Van Halen, right? And I'm learning it very quickly, right? Learning it very quickly. I knew a few parts of it before, but learning it very quickly. But the reality is this: I don't play, in the early days of my channel, I might play a snippet of a riff like that, right? But as the channel went on, I started seeing people getting demonetized, people like Rick Beato and stuff like that getting their videos demonetized, and I realized, hey, this is not a good thing, right? So, going into these demos, right, and having to play a guitar, right? Well, you've got to play something interesting, right? You've got to play something cool, right? But you can't like play somebody else's stuff, right? And in my opinion, you're not there to show how great a guitarist you are. Certainly that helps. Certainly good technique will make the instrument sound better. I'm going to this place and I'm going to play guitar, and I'm going to play guitars that I've never played before. Think about that. If you are comfortable on one guitar, right? Somebody hands you something else. And I'm also going in using whatever they're going to have there. I'm tempted to bring my pedal board, right? So I can tonally shape whatever they got. I might do that. I might not. I know how to get a good tone out of pretty much anything, right? But being able to quickly step on something and get a little bit better tone is a good option. But here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to go in there. It's going to hand me a guitar, right? It's going to have me demoing a bunch of Fender Custom Shop Strats. And I love Custom Shop Strats. I love Strats. I'm like, this is good. Telecasters, certainly I can play a Telecaster, but I'm not like a country player per se. So that would be, I'd do other things on a Telecaster if that's what we were going to do today, right? But you think, well, what are you going to play? It's like the same thing my mom would say, before a gig. She would come to a gig and, well, what songs are you guys going to play? I don't have any idea what we're going to play. What? We're going to go there. We're going to see it. We're going to feel things out. We're going to, obviously, the instrument is going to define how you play it, right? The amp, how you're feeling that day, all of these things. But I'm going to get in there and I'm going to hear how the guitar sounds, how it feels in my hands, what I'm capable of doing on it. Because certain instruments, whether it's lower frets or a different radius or a bigger neck or a thinner neck or different things, lend itself to different types of playing. Think about that. But, I'm going to essentially have to, on the fly, create some parts, create some sounds. You can't just play pentatonic licks over and over again, right? You need to demonstrate what the instrument can do, both rhythmically and in a lead context, right? And so what I normally do if I'm doing my channel, because I don't usually, sometimes I'll write a little bit for a demo, put a little groove together and play over that. But if I'm just playing something raw off the floor, right, I'll pick a key, right? Pick a key and I'll go, okay, I'm going to play this D minor 9 chord, okay? And as I'm vamping on this D minor 9 chord, maybe I'll go to the 4 chord G minor. Maybe I'll go to the 5 chord and I'll make that A7 altered or something. And I'll vamp on that for a while and I'll create a little groove off of that and maybe throw in some licks here and there. And then maybe hit the last chord and play a line, right? And I will do that for all the guitars, right? I will, and okay, now I've done that. All right, well, you don't want to do that same thing again on the next guitar. That would be boring, right? So the next guitar, I might go for a dominant 7 funky type groove, right? And I'll do that, and then the next Strat, I'll maybe go back to a minor groove, or maybe I'll go to a blues. Or here's a clinker for something different. Maybe I'll go to a major 70 kind of R&B ballad type groove, to mix it up. And between those 3 tonalities, minor, dominant 7, and major 7 type tonalities, you could pretty much coast through the whole thing. And of course, if you're playing a Strat, playing some Hendrix-esque style playing, or some SRV style playing, that'll definitely be in there, right? You can also play hard rock on a Strat. I did it for years, right? Of course, having a humbucker in the back sort of lends itself to that, right? But that's how I'm going to think about it. And look, when I've got to come up with stuff on the fly and I'm doing different demos and stuff like that, I just pick keys, right? I'll pick a key and go, hey, G minor. Okay, what can I come up with in that? Okay, C major, boom. What can I come up with in that? Okay, let's go to E7. Okay, E7. What can I come up with over an E7? And all these different things. And I might think of a few chord changes, right? Or I might think of, okay, let's do some single note, chicken picking funk kind of like stuff. Let's do something like that. And this is how you'll have things to demo, right? You've got to come up with riffs and things on the fly. It's kind of like when you're trying to write riffs at home, or trying to write songs based off of the music first. It's the same process, right? And there's been times where I've played something in these demo things and thought, that would be a cool part for a song, right? It's really just taking the concept of song or riff writing and applying it in a demo situation, but you've got to do it super fast. It's a lot like being a studio player. You've got to do it super fast. And here's the deal. You got to make the instrument sound good, but you're not there to show how fast you can play and intimidate people into think, oh, well, I can't play like that. You want people to hear that the instrument sounds good, play stuff that's great, but not intimidating, right? So that people can imagine themselves playing it, right? That's the idea. Of course, I'm going in cold. These people don't know me. I sent them an email and said, hey, can I come down and demo some guitars? And I don't know whether they checked out my channel or did any research or anything, and none of that really matters. So I do have to go in there, and I do have to show them that I can play. I can't just strum chords, right? Because here's the other thing, man. Playing with a good feel, right? Making the instrument feel good rhythmically. That's a universal language. Groove is the universal language, right? And man, you can groove on one chord and make it sound amazing, right? You don't discount playing rhythm guitar. Rhythm guitar is what you really are 98% of the time, right? Doing all this stuff and flash playing and stuff like that. It's not needed 99% of the time, right? It's only supporting the song if the song is some shreddy, hair metal or prog rock or, something like that. It's not supporting the song. Or maybe think of it as supporting the guitar, right? And ultimately you want to sell the gear, right? You're selling the gear without frightening people, Because look, man, we've all turned on Instagram and seen some incredible player and watched 1 minute and go, that's amazing, but I don't really want to hear this right now. And you click off of it, right? So I think, and here's the deal. I think it's also important to talk. I think it's also important to tell how this guitar feels. Hey, this has got a chunky neck. Hey, this has got these really cool pickups in it. Or hey, this has got a really unique finish. And talk about some of those things. People are going to want to know, hey, what's the neck like on that? Hey, did you try those pickups with overdrive? All those different things. These are things to think about, right? These are things that I'm going to think about today when I go there and demo these guitars. And maybe this video will give you some inclination of where my mind's at in going to do something like that.
Email.